Hello everyone, we're here with Jochem and Rudy and they've brought us Pixie Queen. Rudy is the designer of the game and Jochem is the illustrator of the game, and we're going to talk a little bit about what the game is about. So can you tell us in like maybe 60 seconds or less what Pixie Queen is all about?
Well, Pixie Queen is a worker placement game, and it's about an evil Pixie Queen who dominates her people really hard. And we all play with pixies, and these pixies do their best to bring offers to the queen and steal from humans to bring extra offers and so on. Mm-hmm. But she will never be satisfied. She's a real dictator, so the whole time she will try to
punish you.
She will not try. She will just punish us. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's so cool about the game, and I have not seen this in a lot of games. Is that you lose a lot of points and you try to get yourself back up into the positive points. How did you develop that idea?
Because I explained a lot of games in my life, and every time I have to start with the explanation saying the goal of the game is to get as much points as you want. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to make a game in which I could say the goal of the game is to have the less points, the least points.
Yeah, the least minus points.
The least minus points, yeah.
Okay, sure. Jochem, I'm going to turn to you now for a second. About the artwork in the game, it looks amazing, it looks awesome.
Thank you.
Did you come to a consensus really quickly about what the game needed to look like?
Well, Rudy told me what he had in mind, so I started sketching. First just some line drawings on a white piece of paper, and then he said, yeah, I like that. And I worked further on those things.
Okay, and how long did it take you approximately to develop this whole game?
It took a bit longer than I expected.
Yeah? Was it the first time that you illustrated the game? Yeah.
It was the first time I actually, illustrated a board game. So it was really exciting for me.
Yeah, sure.
But Rudy helped me a lot, had a lot of feedback. So the first design I gave him was totally different from what you're seeing here. So it's a lot better.
Okay.
Thanks.
So were you really strict on him, or was it just like...
I'm demanding, yes.
Yes, you're really demanding, okay.
But I'm really grateful for that because
absolutely,
it looks
amazing. It looks gorgeous. We'll be sure to blend in some close-ups of the board and anything like that. The stuff that we see here, how final is it, really?
It's pretty final. Maybe just a few details that will change, but
yeah, because I saw you had a number of stretch goals.
Mm-hmm.
What can the people expect to get when we reach a couple of stretch goals?
In the basic game, we work with cubes. I have to point at these cubes. Just cubes, but the first stretch goal is to make these real apples in a real shape with honey pots and bread. The second stretch goal is that the standard meeples will be kneeling pixies.
Okay.
And so on. So there are also extra tiled, for instance.
Extra tiles that people can get. Okay, cool. Well, it looks like a great game. We're going to try it out, and afterwards we're going to give our thoughts on it and what we thought about it and why we think you should back it, or maybe not back it, but hopefully back it. The Kickstarter runs for another, how long?
It's until 20 October.
The October 20th. So maybe you want to save a little bit of that ASIN money and put it into Pixie Queen, which is clearly a labor of love. And let's try it out and see what we think about it. Hello everyone, we're about halfway through the game right now, and Rudy is going to show us what some of the strategies are. So we see that Blue is currently the starting player, and Blue is going to use his or her discs to take actions on the board, and then we're going to go to the other colors. But what is Blue going to do right now? Rudy.
Well, Blue doesn't have a lot of slaves in the mine anymore, and blue is not doing so well here at the silver and the gold track, but blue has a very good position with these pixies here. So for blue it's interesting. Blue strategy is to gain as much food to promote the pixies as soon as possible at this place, okay? In the castle of the queen. So blue is going to do this and take this tile,
right,
and put it on a.
So because there is no pixie here, blue has to use 2 of his discs.
That's true.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, correct. What is yellow going to do?
Yellow has another strategy because yellow still has 4 slaves in the mine, which makes it interesting for yellow to still use the mine and gain silver or gold even. So yellow sees that there is a pixie with this action, so puts 1 disc there and takes this tile.
Okay, and what does this one do?
This one makes it possible to look in the back when you do the mine action. So when you choose silver or gold and so on. So yellow can just take 2 gold if there is still gold in the back.
So now we come to the green player. And I think it's interesting for green to want to be the starting player.
Yes, indeed, because green is almost on top here. And in this game it's so that when you let the same player always be the starting player, that the chances are big that this player will win the game. So green doesn't want this to happen, so green chooses this action and plays 2 honey.
Okay, 2 honey
and
cubes.
with his 2 honey cubes, green will move its cube there and the others go back. This doesn't mean that green becomes start player immediately, but in the next round green will become the start player.
Yeah, I see that red has a lot of pixies that are still down here in the mine.
Yes, and red has a strategy to have very little penalty points on these tracks, on the silver and the gold track. So he's interested in a lot of silver and gold to make rings also. So red will choose this one to just take 2 silver from the general supply, and takes it behind this screen. And blue sees that he still gains a lot of penalty points on the silver and gold track, so maybe it would be interesting to choose this action and pay 1 silver to just advance here 1 step, or even better, pay 1 gold and advance here, so he gets 1 penalty point less for his position on the gold track. Yellow just took the tile to look in the back, so now he's going to do the mine action. And
how does that work exactly?
He will take as many blocks from this back as there are slaves in his mine. So that's 4 in this case.
4 in total. And he pulls 1 black and 3.
1 black and 3 silver. The silver he puts behind the screen.
Right, and the blacks are used.
And the blacks are used
bother the other players, right?
To caten. Caten is not the right word.
To chain the other players.
Excuse me. To chain the other players. So he sees that blue is doing very well, so he chains this slave in the mine,
right,
which means that this pixie will not be able to promote further.
Okay.
Green is interested in promoting his pixies as much as possible, and green will choose this action, which makes it possible to promote this one further up. Okay. But it's chained now. But green will pay 1 bread to unchain it.
So you can pay bread to get rid of the chains and then move.
The Pixie Queen is very happy with bread, and she will gladly remove 1 stone for you then.
Pixie Queen needs her carbs.
Yeah, and then green promotes his pixie up. Red has a lot of silver and chooses this action to change silver into gold. His position on the silver track is rather attractive because he can change silver into gold for only 2 silver.
Okay.
So he gives 4 silver and gains 2 gold.
Okay.
Blue has 1 disc left. Oh, and blue notices that green is on an unlucky position because when blue does this, he can steal with another from another pixie.
Oh, and it has to be the
And
pixie
of
that's on
course-
the spot.
No, it doesn't have to be that pixie, but this is the most interesting pixie because there are 4
Right.
food signs there. So blue steals from this green pixie an apple, a honey pot, and 2 breads.
Wow, that sounds painful.
Yellow has 4 apples behind this screen, and with these apples you can just change it into silver, which is very interesting too.
Oh, so that action is changing 1-on-1?
Yeah,
Okay.
but only one kind against one kind. So 4 silver. Green already chose to be the starting player in the next round, but green is also on top here, which makes it very interesting to do this. When he chooses this action, the big cube will go in front when everyone has done his actions, which means that he will be able to promote his pixie on top first. Okay?
In the following phase.
So he will be sure that he can do this before blue can do this.
Okay. Alright, what do we have now? We have red.
But if I can say one more thing
Yeah,
about
sure.
green, he uses 2 discs for this because this ends his actions for
Oh yeah,
this.
so he's
for this
passing,
round.
effectively passing for this round.
Yeah, that's true. Red only has to pay 2 gold to make 1 ring, so he is also a pixie. So red does that action and pays 2 gold to make 1 ring, and it gains him 8 points.
Yeah. By the way, these are 3 main ways of winning victory points. Is the rings, promoting your pixie into the castle, and to make some special offers. Alright, whose turn is it now? blue,
After red is blue again, but blue,
Blue
has
is out of
already
discs.
out of discs.
I think
so.
yeah,
Then
yellow
it's the
still
yellow,
has
that's
one.
the only one, yeah. And yellow is going to copy the action of red. This costs him 1 penalty point. But he can only also make a ring, but for yellow it costs 3 gold to do that.
Okay, that's still a little bit expensive.
And the most interesting thing for reds is also to copy probably. So, but it will cost him 2 penalty points.
Because he is the
Because
second
he's the
player
second
to do
one
this.
there. It's 2 penalty points for the second or the third player there.
Yeah.
And red will copy this action, which means that he pays 1 gold
To advance on the
to
track.
advance on this track.
Okay. So now that everyone has used up their discs, what happens now?
So now we are going to take back our discs and then
We did that already.
We did that already, and then we are going to turn around this tile, and this is the Pixie Queen telling us that she's a little bit hungry and that she wants an apple now. Okay.
All right. So what's going to happen next is now we're going to offer all in secret what we want to offer to the queen, and then we'll see what happens then.
Yes. So both blue and red offered 2 silver, which means that that's equal. They will advance 1 step on the silver track. Yellow offered gold and was the only one that offered gold, so he gets 1 step plus 1 extra step because he offered the most gold. And then we look at the apples that were offered. Everyone who offered apples will be able to promote his or her pixie
Up the track.
up the track, yes. First, green will be able to do that because green put his disc there, so which means that this big cube will be in front here. Green offered apples, and we'll be able to promote his pixie there. We put him there, and it stays there for a while to show that only one pixie per round can advance to this position. So he's in the castle of the queen. He will now be our humble servant for the rest of his life, and will remain on the track here. He will get 9 points for it, but this pixie will go there. That was only one apple, so we promote for the rest of the apples that he offered, which was 4. So we will also do 1 and 3 and 4, for instance. So, and then Blue is going to promote his pixies. For instance, he will remove 1 stone for 1 bread, and then promote this one here and this one here.
Yeah.
So he's ready for the next round to promote his pixies.
All right, cool.
On top.
So that is the end of the turn.
That's the end of the turn. Green moves here, he loses his pixie. The round is not completely finished yet, because after the reward phase we have a penalty phase. And in this penalty phase we're going to look how many pixies there are still in the mine. These are slaves in the mine, and we see that Blue has only 1 pixie left here in the mine, so we will gain only or lose only 1 point, gain 1 penalty point. Yellow and red have at least 2 pixies there, so they gain both 2 penalty points, red and yellow. And then we look at the silver and the gold track. That's here. And there we see that green gets 3 penalty points for the silver track and 2 for the gold track. So that's 5 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Normally, because green passes this slave mark, he would have to offer a slave, which means that 1 pixie would have to go back to the mine. But green was so clever to make himself the favorite pixie of the queen, which means that he doesn't have to do that. And then the other penalty points, blue will have 5 as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Red gains only 2 penalty points, and yellow 3 penalty points. 1, 2, 3. Yellow passes here also, and yellow has to put this slave back into the mine. And that's the end of the round.
Okay, looks cool. Alright everyone, the moment you've all been waiting for. Should I back or should I not back? Well, I think you should back, and for a couple of reasons. Firstly, of course, the artwork is gorgeous. I mean, Joachim did a great job, even though it was just his first time as an artist here on a game. I think it all looks great, and but a lot of games have good artwork, and I think the most important criteria for backing or not backing are the mechanics of the game. And I think this game is really the theme. The game oozes theme, and it just makes sense thematically. Because what I think is so special about this game, look at this. You start here on the track, and you see that you only have like 20 positive points, but you can go all the way down to like, what is it, 69 or 59 minus points. So I think that the theme is incorporated really well. You get punished by the Pixie Queen, and there's this constant struggle where you're losing points all the time each round, and you're trying to struggle and claw your way back up out of the mines and into the graces of the Pixie Queen, which I think is really neat, and we haven't seen that in a lot of games where you lose so many points and try and struggle your way back. The other thing that's really cool about this game, the other mechanic that's really cool, is the use of the action discs. So for example, when you're advancing your pixies, you have to keep in mind what are the other players going to do, because if I advance my pixie to over here, blue advances his pixie over here, and red is doing really well on the gold track and wants to build a ring, he only has to use like one disc for that. If you have an action like this, you have to use 2 discs, so that means you will get to do less actions each round. So there's this constant balance of which actions am I going to do, how many of my 4 action discs do I need to perform this action, and how am I going to distribute those actions. So you can, there's 3 ways of scoring victory points as well, so you can choose to advance on the track and to play more on silver and gold and keep your pixies in the mines, or you can try and advance, get in the graces of the Pixie Queen and score your points that way. So there are multiple paths to victory, and I think all in all these are some really cool mechanics that we haven't seen before in a lot of games, and I think it will be pleasant experience for everyone who enjoys medium to heavy Euro games. So my advice would be to back this game, Pixie Queen, on Kickstarter. You won't regret it. Bye everyone.